we are streaming. I'm here with you for a new lesson where we are going to review short forms and contractions, which we did last lesson. And today we are going to have a new topic, and today we are going to have very interesting vocabulary for you with pretty long phrases. So that's why get ready for extra practice for your memory, let's say the parameters of your memorization, memorizing practice today is on, and we go with the revision first. So I'm just checking if the connection is fine. It looks like good, fine, and oh, even better quality as usual. So I hope you're all going to have good picture though, and then we go. So we go with lesson 11 review as previous material, and we go with lesson 12 as a new material with a new topic for you. Let's go and start with revision with me. Go with me as fast as possible. So let's go. Contractions. What are the contractions of to be in present? The contractions of to be in present are I'm, we're, he isn't, they aren't, etc. Do we use the contractions for I am not? No, we don't use the contraction of am not. Are you addicted to computer? Yes, I'm addicted to a computer. No, I am not addicted to computer. Is your child addicted to computer? Yes, he is addicted to computer. No, he isn't addicted to computer. Are your co-workers addicted to computer? Yes, they are addicted to computers. No, they are not or aren't addicted to computers. Aren't, isn't, but am not. Aren't, isn't, contractions. Am not, no contraction. So, was your father earning good money in the company he worked for? Yes, he was earning good money in the company he worked for. No, he wasn't earning good money in the company he worked for. Were you and your friend earning good money during your internship in Malaysia? Yes, we were earning good money during our internship in Malaysia. No, we weren't earning good money during our internship in Malaysia. We earn good money after your promotion at work. Yes, I'll earn good money after my promotion at work. I'll earn good money after my promotion at work. Or no, I won't earn good money after my promotion at work. I'll earn the same. To be addicted to computer. To earn good money, like a lot of money. Internship. Promotion at work. I'm not, I'm not. You are, you are not, you aren't, you're not. He is, his. He is not, he isn't, he's not, he's not. She is, repeat with me, she is, she's. She's a woman, she's a girl, and so on. She is not, she isn't, she's not. She isn't or she is not. Two ways of contraction, okay? So, it is, it's, contraction, it's in positive way. It is not, we say, it's not. It's not my car. It's not my time. It's not my business. It isn't. That's the second form of contraction. It isn't. So, to be, we contract with pronouns. I'm, his, she's, it's. And we can contract it together with not. I am not, we don't contract, but isn't, aren't, we contract. Okay, so going on. More examples. We are not, we aren't, we're not. They are, they are not, they aren't, or they're not. I was not, I wasn't. He was not, he wasn't. They were not, they don't. Okay, we were not, we won't. Okay, So, going on. I shall or I will. I'll. I shall not or I will not, we say I shan't, I won't. He will, he'll. He will not, he won't. She will, she'll. She will not, she'll not. Okay, or she won't. It will, it'll. It will not, it won't. We shall or we will. We shall not, we will not. We shan't or we won't. You will, you'll. You will not, you won't. They will, they'll. They will not, they won't. Okay? So, will you upgrade your office equipment next year? No, we won't upgrade our office equipment next year. Yes, we will upgrade our our office equipment next year. Okay, good, we are on. So, will your company implement new technologies next decade? Will your company implement like start to use? Will your company implement new technologies next decade? Yes, our company will implement new technologies next decade. Or no, our company won't implement new technologies next decade, next 10 years period, okay? So, decade, implement new technologies. So, will the government digitalize educational system next century? Will the government digitalize educational system next century? Yes, the government will digitalize educational system next century. No, the government won't digitalize educational system next century. So again, yes, I know this is difficult to pronounce. Won't digitalize, yes. Will not digitalize can even be easier. So as I told you previous lesson, if you feel that this is too difficult for you to pronounce the contraction and difficult word in pronunciation, better use no contraction. So let's try two versions, contracted and not contracted. Full version first. No, the government will not digitalize educational system next century. Or short form, no, the government won't digitalize educational system next century. Good. Okay, so if you manage to pronounce this phrase, you're so good, because digitalize. This is what I practice every day, actually. The words like this, they make me like tongue twister practice every day, because this is the word which even if you use like your native language words, they can be possibly pretty complicated for you to pronounce when you start pronouncing them pretty fast, right? So there are many tongue twisters in Russian, Chinese, Korean. Every language has tongue twister. What is tongue twister? Tongue twister is when you use some phrase or some composition, some statement, some word, some phrase for practicing of your pronunciation. So example of English tongue twister can be something like, she sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. It means she gives somebody seashells, right? So special things on the seashore for mussels, right? Mussels. So special, like creatures living in the sea. So, and the second, first coming on my mind, actually, usually, it's the tongue twister about Peter Piper. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. If Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, where are pickled peppers? Peter Piper picked. So if you need to practice tongue twisters, you're going definitely to have them in this course. Lucky you are. I will give you several examples of tongue twisters which you are going to practice. But the thing is not about trying to make them maximum fast, but the thing is about making you get a habit of pronouncing these phrases as a melody, as a speed pronunciation, right? So in order, when you practice fast pronunciation, or saying words, your brain starts to work in a different way. And then when you hear people speaking pretty fast with you, you kind of get the period of adaptation, because you practice yourself as speed speaking. So when I speak faster and faster with you every lesson, like this, like small short pauses between the practice of you with me together, then we kind of accelerate your brain. We make your brain work faster and faster to comprehend, to catch the information I'm telling you about, okay? So that's what we are doing. That's the reason we do it every lesson. So we go back to the part of the lesson where you speak together with me. So now you got some pause, you got some relax for your mouth, but hard work for your brain and listening. Now we go to speaking back. So go back with me with the revision of our short forms. More examples. We covered the one with the government, digitalize, try it with me, okay? Next century, this is next 100 years period. So, repeat with me the phrases we used. Upgrade office equipment. It means buy new equipment like printers, scanners, computers, and so on. Upgrade office equipment, okay? How about the next one? Implement new technologies. Implement new technologies. Digitalize. Next one. The constructions we have. I have done. I've done. I have not done. I haven't done. Okay. You have done. You've done. You have not done. You haven't done. Okay. She has done. She's done. She has not done. She hasn't done. Okay. We have done. We've done. We have not done. We haven't done. How about the past form? I had done. I'd done. I had not done. I hadn't done. You had done. You'd done. You had not done. You hadn't done. If you stop speaking with me, that will be the moment when you should breath in, breath out, and go on speaking with me. This is part of the lesson when you need to speak with me, okay? Practice. If I do gestures like this, you speak with me non-stop. Just pronounce everything. If you lose, the moment I speak, just catch anywhere you catch the phrase and go on with me, okay? So this is, you kind of go with me, you fly with my speed, right? So you go with me in order to catch the pronunciation. So let's go further. How about had, right? So she had done, she'd done, she had not done, she hadn't done. Okay. We had done, we'd done, we had not done, we hadn't done. Sounds easy, but yeah, do this. Compare. I would do. I'd do. I would not do. I wouldn't do. You would do. You'd do. You would not do. You wouldn't do. Okay. She would do. She'd do. She would not do. She wouldn't do. Keep saying. Okay. She would do again, right? She would do. Okay. We would do. We'd do. We would not do. We wouldn't do. Had you started purchase of modern equipment last year? Yes, we'd started purchase modern equipment last year. No, we hadn't started purchase of modern equipment last year. Will you start purchase of modern equipment this year? Would you? Would you start purchase of modern equipment this year? Yes, we'd start purchase modern equipment this year. No, we wouldn't start purchase of modern equipment this year. Have your provider developed application used to unify chats, audio calls before 2020? Again, right? Okay, so a little bit with understanding. Had your provider developed application used to unify chats, audio calls before 2020? Yes, my provider had developed application used to unify chats, audio calls before 2020. No, my provider hadn't developed application used to unify chats, audio calls before 2020. Would your provider develop applications to unify chats, audio calls if necessary? Yes, my provider would develop application used to unify together chats, audio calls if necessary. No, my provider wouldn't develop application used to unify chats, audio calls if necessary. Purchase of modern equipment. Application used to unify chats and audio calls. I do not. I don't. He does not. He doesn't. We do not. We don't. I did not. I didn't. She did not. She didn't. They did not. They didn't. Does he emphasize the freedom of speech as essential human right? Yes, he emphasizes the freedom of speech as essential human right. No, he doesn't emphasize freedom of speech as essential human right. Did he emphasize the freedom of speech as essential human right? Yes, he emphasized the freedom of speech as essential human right. No, he didn't emphasize the freedom of speech as essential human right. Didn't emphasize, doesn't emphasize. Yes, so when we use don't, doesn't, we already have no endings with doesn't or didn't. We don't have any endings with our base form. Didn't go, didn't do, don't do, doesn't do, and so on. Okay, so the revision of phrases we use. Emphasize the freedom of speech. Emphasize means to pay attention. Actually, this is a word of today. So, emphasize the freedom of speech. Essential human right. Essential human right. Essential, it means something which is really necessary for a person, right? Essential. For example, how do you think, is this a good idea to respect women for a man? It's essential. It means it's very important. It's must do. So that's what we call essential. So, here we are basically done with covering our examples of previous lesson, but I would really ask you to get back to the revision again, because in the contractions it sounds like a very easy topic, but sometimes we get trouble with this when we have a good tempo of speech and when we hear people, native speakers, speaking pretty fast using contractions with us or short forms. So that's why I would really appreciate you coming back to our lesson 11 and doing the review of our video in the practice task. That will really help you to improve, of course, because you will have the extra practice of your visual memory. So because this is really about visual memory, you have all this apostrophe form with the last part of the word, which will help you to improve in written. But as I mentioned before, contractions and short forms are basically used as non-official part of communication. So when we have it in colloquial speech, in everyday communication, but when we write business letters, we try to avoid the contractions and short forms. So it's better to, because it's like a good ethics, right, of the business communication. So you better avoid contractions in official way of communication and international examinations, like for example IELTS and TOEFL. You better not to use short forms and contractions. Here we are done with the revision part. Oh, okay, we covered this during our 18-minute period. So today we go with a new topic, which some people think that this is not an important one, but actually it is. This is a topic which can change your comprehension of information. So it is called emphatic do. Emphatic do. So what do we call emphatic do? You definitely heard the examples like this when somebody is trying to pay your attention on some phrase or some decision. For example, oh, I feel so bad today. Hey, man, I do understand you because I feel the same. So I do understand. This is when we use do in the context of our sentence when it's grammatically not necessary. And the reason of use is actually to pay extra attention and to emphasize, with a specific part of the sentence or with a specific piece of information. So we will go with examples. We have pretty many of them. We will review is and have if they are used as the tool of emphatic. And we will go, of course, with do, did, and does as the base. They are the basic forms used for emphasis, right? Emphasis in English. So let's go with examples. You understand the topic clearly. It's not that widespread like present simple or present continuous, but it's very necessary. And I will tell you more about this in the lesson. But the basic approach is to practice our speaking, okay? So keep speaking with me. I go with questions, but every answer you answer with me, okay? You say it with me. So let's go with the first one. Okay, I'm here, I'm ready, we go. Emphatic do. So, is it late for the lesson now? Is it late for the lesson now? Yes, it is late now. Still, the lesson has started 20 minutes ago. It is late now. Still, the lesson has started 20 minutes ago. So what does it mean? You, for example, you come for the lesson and you ask the teacher, hey, is it late for the lesson? Is it late for me to come in for the lesson? And the teacher says, yes, it is late. So it is late. This is absolutely grammatically right category. But here we make the emphasis with our intonation with to be verb. It is late. It is late. One more example. Have I done everything to go home now? Have I done everything to go home now? Yes, you have done everything to go home. Yes, you have done. Repeat with me with intonation. Yes, you have done everything to go home now. Feel free to go. Feel free to go. Feel free to go is like, do this. Yeah, hey, do this, man. Okay? So feel free to go. Repeat with me the rule. We can be often emphatic. We can be often emphatic using is or have rather than a short form. So we don't need do or does when we talk about has or is. So if we talk about emphatic do, we don't need to say, yes, it does is late. You just say, it is late. You make emphasis with your intonation. You don't say, it does is late. It is late. You have done everything. You have done everything. It's not like you did do everything. You have done everything. That's enough. So you're done with this. Yes. So you don't need extra. If you use have as auxiliary, or if you use to be as a main verb. So, but when we have sentences like, do you agree that we need to boost social status of employees in our company? Do you agree that we need to boost social status of employees in our company? Repeat with me. Yes, I do agree that we need to boost social status of our employees in our company. Boost social status. This is actually about the improvement of kind of the attitude between colleagues or employees in the company. Social status is like position of the person. It's about actually attitude and relationships, and social status is more like respect of the community from outside, because the company can work, for example, in one city, and there is the social status of employee in one company, which means that it's really respectful to work for this company. This is about social status. Boost, it means to improve opinion of people around about employees of the company, and to improve opinion of employees about their status as well. Because in many situations, it's about like when person doesn't feel doesn't feel its own importance or its own role in the company, and when you boost social status, the employee feels much better working for this company and feels that this is a good position I do, this is a good job I do, I have extra motivation for this. So boost is to get higher level, to improve, to raise, okay, to raise some ratio or some status, to improve it. So let's go with more examples. Does the government identify potential spots in the sphere of economic development? Yes, the government do identify, go with me, yes, the government do identify specific spots in the sphere of economic development. Yeah, let's do it again, right? Okay, that's difficult. Yes, the government do identify potential spots in the sphere of economic development. So when we talk about economic development, that's about the level of our life, level of income, and level of salaries in the country, and so on. Economic level, right? So economic development, it's when we improve the economics of some country or some specific place, and so on. When we talk about government, actually the government, we say the government because it's the government of some specific country. We talk about them as them. So we say the government do identify. It means they do identify. So that's how we use government. We actually use the same about teams, groups of people, and so on. The police do. The team do. They. Because by the word team or by the word police or the government, we mean they, them. And when the phrase identify potential spots. Identify potential spots, it means to find ways, specific ways. Spots is like specific areas where we can improve something. Identify, it means to find, identify. So when you say identify instead of the word find, your vocabulary actually sounds for a person like higher level of vocabulary. So identify specific spots, identify specific spots. I'm going to identify specific spots in how to improve my level of English. Specific spots, it means specific areas of my knowledge which I'm going to boost, to upgrade, make a higher level. So now you have a lot of words you can use instead of like easier words you used before. Let's go further with more examples. With emphatic do. So, summing up, in the present we put do before the verb to be emphatic. So, I do understand. I do know how to improve the situation in economics of the country. I do know how to boost social status, and so on. I do know, I do understand, I do want, and so on. Do you want to see your parents? Yes, I do want to see my parents. So this is what we call emphatic do. When we put do in front of the verb in the present simple, and this way we kind of get more attention, extra attention to the sentence. Grammatically, this is absolutely correct if we use it in a correct way. Let's get with more examples in order we could use it in easier way. But before that, the question to you, according to the sentence we had before, can we be emphatic using is or have without short forms? Can we be emphatic using is or have without short forms? Yes, we can be often emphatic using is or have rather than short forms. Okay, so you don't need to use do when you have is or have in the sentence. You usually make intonational emphasis, just paying more attention to the specific words, is or have. So, what do we put in present to be emphatic? In the present, we put do before the verb to be emphatic. Again, in the present, we put do before the verb to be emphatic. How about a couple examples, a couple phrases we used? Again, to boost, repeat with me, to boost social status, to boost social status. Identify potential spots, identify potential spots. So now you know what they meant, okay? Do we understand global consequences of the climate change? Do we understand global consequences? When we talk about consequences, we mean the result. Do we understand global consequences of the climate change? Yes, no? Yes, we do understand global consequences of the climate change. So when we see the result of climate change, we mean we do understand consequences. So climate change, this is the thing happening, and then we get the consequences, a result of climate change. Okay, so this is what we call consequences of climate change. And do we understand? Yes, we do understand. Does technological advancement of humanity often result with climate change? Yes, technological advancement of humanity does often result with climate change. So let's understand what the sentence means. This sentence is about that what we people do to improve our technologies usually influence climate and result in climate change. So this is not a good thing actually, but this is something we all need to speak about. I think this is a very sustainable way. So never mind, this isn't just an English lesson. That's not just an English lesson. This is a lesson of your brain improvement, of your brain activity in boost. And this is a lesson where you can think about some global situations, and I'm deeply confident. I am absolutely confident that this is emphatic. I am absolutely confident that each person can change the situation with small things we do, with small steps, with small spots we identify in the way of improvement of the situation. So climate change, this is some very serious situation. We see the consequences, we see the results of climate change. The weather is changing, the weather conditions change, our situation with water is getting worse. So that's why each person around me, I'm quite confident, should think about small changes we can do in everyday reality. So let's go back to our vocabulary practice, and today we have a little bit environmental friendly English lesson where we discuss some global troubles. We don't speak about them a lot, but we try to use emphatic do topic in the context of global issues. So more examples. Do we ensure the success and well-being of the next generation? Do we ensure the success and well-being of next generation? Yes, we do ensure the success and well-being of the next generation. To ensure, it means to guarantee. To ensure, it's when we do some specific things to make it work. For example, when I do some special educational formats for people around, I think also about next generation, which is about thinking about my children. So I have children whom I really care a lot, and I'm really interested in boosting their social status, and ensure of their future success and well-being. Success is when person is kind of confident about his life, and well-being, it's about good life. So I'm quite confident that if you develop your brain, if you work on your self-development and self-motivation, and if you think about global troubles, and if you think about how to manage them, you boost your social status, and you also ensure better future for next generation, and successful future and and well-being. So that's what we are talking about, and as you see today, we have very optimistic answers for most of the questions. That's what I really want to be on your mind, because I'm quite sure the optimistic way of viewing things is also important. Going on with some easier example, but very important. Does he polish his car every day? Yes, he does polish his car every day. Does he influence environment this way? Yes, he does influence environment this way. So let's see more everyday examples. I like about him, about polishing his car. Oh, you just can't understand me at all. Like, you don't understand me at all. Whatever you say, I do want us to resolve this snag this minute. Repeat with me. Whatever you say, I do want to resolve. I do want us to resolve this snag this minute. So to resolve this snag, it means to resolve this kind of trouble getting between us. To resolve snag, it's when you do some work, you do some operation, and it gets stuck and you cannot move on. So then you need to resolve, you need to fix it, you need to manage it, you need to work on it in order to stop it. So, for example, to resolve some snag can be used also about technical issues. When something gets stuck, it means this is a snag, it's not going further, you need to resolve it, you need to fix it, yes, you need to unblock it, okay? So this is what is called, I do want us, you and me, I do want us to resolve this snack this minute. When you say this minute, it means immediately. I want to fix it now. I want us to understand now. So because the person started with you don't understand me, okay? Phrase. So moving on. I don't owe you any money. I don't owe you any money. No. According to the terms of our agreement, you do owe me money. Again. According to the terms of our agreement, you do owe me money. So owe money, it means when you need to give money back to somebody you have taken them from. You have taken it from, sorry, because about money we say it, not them. Money is singular, it's uncountable and it's singular. So agreement, terms of agreement. This is about, for example, terms of contract. You have some contract and there are specific rules of what to do. You must do this, you must do this, and so on. And by the way, when we talk about contract, mostly we use shall in the contract when we talk about obligations. The contract shall be signed in passive form, pay attention, right? So when we talk about legal style of communication, shall is used a lot. Talking about obligations people take, people agree on. The responsibility shall be obtained. The contract shall be signed. The agreement shall be finished or completed, and so on. When we talk about legal documents, we use shall in passive form a lot. When we talk about the decisions, the agreement between people, the terms of agreement. So terms of agreement, that's what we call special rules of agreement. Okay, just give me 1 second, I'm checking. Oh, okay, so we have, we still have 15 minutes, good, and we have pretty much material more to practice. So, next example is following. Do I look nice in my new outfit? Do I look nice in my new outfit? Yes, you do look pretty in that new outfit. Quite stunning. Yes, you do look pretty in that new outfit. Quite stunning. So when we use stunning, it's like really beautiful, right? So stunning is like very beautiful. Pretty, it's like looking nice. It's also beautiful. But let's say when we talk about pretty and beautiful, beautiful is like common word for a beautiful song, beautiful dress, beautiful something. But pretty, we mostly try to speak about people. So not the dress is pretty. You look pretty. You look pretty. That's about person, how he or she looks like. And by the way, when we talk about beauty, when we talk about man, we say handsome. He's very handsome. But about woman, we say she's beautiful or she looks pretty. She looks pretty. So it's about the way she looks in her outfit. And outfit, it's actually the way we are dressed. The way we are dressed. So when we get new style or get new clothes, we say about outfit. Yes, new outfit. Okay. You should finish your work ASAP. You should finish your work ASAP. I do know that the work needs to get done. So I do know that the work needs to get done. Again, I do know that the work needs to get done. So when we say ASAP, this means that's an abbreviation for very widespread in business English communication and in different other spheres. This is a phrase which means it's abbreviation for as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Like, do it ASAP. Like, do it pretty fast. Try to make it faster. As soon as possible. The fastest way you can, okay? This is what ASAP means. And let's review some more phrases which we use in our examples. So, global consequences of the climate change. Global consequences of the climate change. Global consequences of the climate change, it means the results on our planet as for the climate change. Okay, so the results of climate change. Technological advancement of humanity. Technological advancement of humanity, it means how we humans, how we people advanced ourselves, so how we improved our skills and knowledge about technologies, about how do we use them for our better future and for our success and for our well-being. So that's technological advancement. Advancement is like what kind of things how you upgrade yourself, your humanity, your personality with the new technologies. So when we talk about technological advancement of humanity, when, for example, we talk about the things related to addiction to computers or addiction to phones, this is not about advancement. Advancement is for the better, okay? So that's what is advancement. Actually, this term advancement can be used in anything. Like advancement in sports, advancement in education, advancement in your feelings control, and so on. So the way you advance yourself, improve yourself, upgrade your level in some sphere, advancement. Next one, influence environment. Influence environment is when you do something to get involved, okay? So influence environment, for example, if you pollute environment, if you make it dirty, you definitely influence environment in a bad way. But if you clean outside, for example, you start controlling some energy use, some let's say electricity use and so on, or water use, consumption. When you talk about use of water, we say about consumption, how much you drink, how much you waste of water, and so on. When you start to control water consumption, you start to influence environment in a better way. So I will give you a couple like hacks. I will make like couple more extra minutes for our lesson, but still I had my experience of environmental work in some social sphere for some big company, and we did so many things for environment improvement and for control of pollution and so on. I will give you some life hacks about how you can today influence environment in a better way. So, for example, we never think that when we clean glass, when we clean glass of our window, we actually get extra light in our room, and that means usually we don't need electricity lighting for a longer period of the day. So we never pay attention on it, but when people live in dirty cities, they don't even pay attention on how often they clean their windows. So if you pay attention in big offices, in big companies, people really care about how often their windows are cleaned from outside. And this is actually the way people understand the connection between energy consumption, how much energy or how much electricity you need, and the light, the natural light of our sun, okay? And also, when you have extra light access to your apartment or your office, you get warmer space, right? So when your window is more transparent with no dust, then you get extra light and extra energy and extra warmth heating, right? You don't need heating so much, you don't need lighting so much, and so on. Second life hack: when you start your kettle, when you want some tea and you try to boil some water for your tea or for your coffee. Everyone drinks a lot of tea and coffee, I'm quite sure. When you try to get your water ready for your tea or coffee, usually we do not control how much water we put into our pot or kettle. But if you start controlling that, for example, for your cup of tea, you need only 1 cup of water put into your kettle, or a little bit more. The thing is, when we put more than 1 cup and we only drink 1 cup, it means we waste electricity for heating, for boiling, for 2 cups, while we need only 1. So that was a great thing for me. And when I heard about this, children were telling me during one of the environmental friendly conferences, and I was like shocked that this is something I didn't think about for a very long period of my life. I heard about this something about like 24, 25 years old, but I thought like, wow, if I was taught this in the elementary school, I would definitely do this. So, and it's great when these things are done in elementary or primary school. Life hack number 3. So first life hack was about heating and electricity saving, about cleaning your windows. Second was about saving of your energy for boiling of your tea. If you need 1 cup, you just boil one cup of water, not 2. And the third one is about water consumption. We don't think about this a lot, but when we start brushing our teeth, cleaning our teeth in the morning, and in the evening we do it twice a day usually. So most of the people do this twice a day. Most people never control off the tap to stop the water, because when we start it, we don't close it, and the water is on, but we brush our teeth and we don't care about the water. The thing is, you can stop the tap and start it again when you finish your teeth brushing. Okay, so this is the thing about saving of our water consumption, and this is really sustainable thing. Like small steps we can do for improvement. There are many other things we can do for improvement of environment, and one day I will share with you more. But today we go with a review of our further terms related to the climate change and so on, and we go with the one, ensure the success and well-being of the next generation. So ensure, repeat with me, ensure the success and well-being of the next generation. So this means to improve the next generation, yes? Resolve this snack. Resolve this snack. Resolve this snack means to unblock the problem, to fix the problem, okay? Resolve this snack. Stunning. Stunning is like beautiful, very beautiful. Oh, she's stunning. Oh, she's stunning, okay? And ASAP, as soon as possible, as soon as possible. So we go back to revision. We still have pretty many questions, so don't go away from our lesson. We are still not done. I just gave you extra examples. Go on with me. So, in the third phase, singular, we use does. So, yes, he does polish his car every day. Repeat with me. Yes, he does polish his car every day. We do not add s to the verb though. Our planet does become, not becomes, our planet does become more and more apparent, So, in the past simple, we use did for emphatic sense. Yeah, so we can use do, does, or did. If we talk about past, we use did. So, let's go with me. Harmful outcomes of heavy industrialization did lead to global warming and climate change last centuries. That's a long sentence. Repeat it with me. Harmful outcomes. Harmful outcomes is like bad outcomes from the industrial plants. Harmful outcomes of heavy industrialization did lead to global warming and climate change last centuries. And now faster, please. Harmful outcomes of heavy industrialization did lead to global warming and climate change last centuries. So you need to understand this and fill the sentence, okay? This is a really essential one which everybody should understand. So, the surface temperature of Earth did rise by 1 degree. So, the surface temperature of Earth did rise by 1 degree. Did the surface temperature of Earth rise? Did the surface temperature of Earth rise? Yes, the surface temperature of Earth did rise. Did rise. The surface temperature, it means the surface of our planet, okay? So, become apparent. Become apparent. Obvious. Become apparent, it means become obvious, okay? Heavy industrialization. Heavy industrialization. Heavy industrialization. It means when a lot of industries develop at the same moment, okay? When a lot of companies work with industrial purpose. Global warming. Global warming. It is global warming of the world when it gets like the climate change with, so our planet became 1 degree higher. It raised by 1 degree with its surface, okay? So, what do we use in the third phase singular? What do we use in the third phase singular? In the third phase singular, we use does. In the third phase singular, we use does, okay? Do we use as do we add as to the verb with the third phase singular? Do we add as to the verb with the third phase singular? No, we don't. No, we don't add as to the verb with the third phase singular. So when we say the planet does become, no s here, okay? So what do we use for emphatic sense in the past simple? What do we use for emphatic sense in the past simple? In the past simple, we use did for emphatic sense. In the past simple, we use did for emphatic sense. So we can use do with an imperative for emphasis. So this is our last example for today with the use of our imperative mood. Imperative mood is when you make somebody do something, like come and visit me, see this movie please, or check that out. So we can use do with imperative for emphasis. For example, do prevent floods in the area. Do prevent floods. You need to stop floods in the area. Do prevent floods in the area. Repeat with me. Do control water consumption. Do control water consumption. Otherwise, we will get in trouble. Otherwise, we will get in trouble. So, do control water consumption. That's exactly what I was telling you when I told about closing the tap, stopping the water when you brush your teeth. This is about control of water consumption, of how much water you use. And one more, water evaporation. Do control water evaporation. Water evaporation is when water becomes the air, okay, gets into the air. So water evaporation happens due to different reasons, but when, for example, you have a lake, and when this lake gives water to the city, water evaporation is really dangerous, because if water evaporates, people have nothing to drink, okay? So this is actually what happens in the world. This is one more environment problem. Water evaporation, like water evaporation. Floods, it means when a lot of water comes to the area. Floods. It happens because of rains, because of some water from the lakes, flooding the area, getting high level after melting of snow, and so on. So we had a lot of environmental topic vocabulary this lesson. I really hope it gave you some extra reason for reviewing of our lesson vocabulary. Still, the topic is not that difficult to understand, and I'm quite sure you all should have practiced that enough for further use. I still want to notice that when we talk about emphatic do, we do use it in official communication, and we do use it in everyday communication. But let's say we don't use it all the time. So you can really use it when you want to put emphasis on something to show this is a great importance in your speech. So then you do use this emphatic do. So that's where we are done for today. I really hope you got good practice of your vocabulary and our long phrases, good practice of your pronunciation after the lesson, good practice of your listening, of course, and I will see you next lesson. Thank you for joining. Have a pleasant rest of the day. Bye-bye.